Hey everybody, so today we're going to be talking about measures of central tendency. That's our data distribution unit, included in our data distribution unit that we are working on in class. And so to start us off, I want to show a very brief video as an introduction to today's content.
Are you having problems cleaning up your data sets? Well, watch The Bachelor next to meet 3 young studs that can classify and organize your large sets of data. Today on The Bachelor, we have 3 young studs, mean, median, and mode, ready to clean up your numerical meltdown. Bachelor number 1. He may look big and tough, but he represents his family well. Many people think he's mean, but he's just your average Joe. In a tight spot, he'll always take the sum of everyone's opinions before dividing through the problem. Next up is Bachelor number 2. He had a rough childhood, always being teased. Median, middle, median, middle. He was a middle child in his family and could always be found in the middle of every problem. This Bachelor likes things in order. Next up, Bachelor number 3, Mode. He's known for loving multiples and repeating things, which makes him great boyfriend material. Because of this, his friends call him Mo most often. If you pick him to classify your data, get ready for repetition. Before you make your calculations, remember, means just an average Joe, taking the sum of everyone's values before dividing through the problem. Median, who always finds himself in the middle, even if that means splitting himself in half. Or will you choose Mode, the man with an eye for multiples? Who will you choose to represent your data sets?
Okay, so that was our introduction to that video, and so let's go ahead. Oh, this is crazy. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get our page back up onto our screen, and so this is the handout you've been given that we will be working with today in class. These are actually our guided notes as part of your weekly work packet. So if you are in class, great. If you missed class, be sure to get all these notes down in the video for full credit. All right, if you're just watching online, feel free to follow along with us. I will post the link to the worksheets down in the comments or somewhere down below if you'd like to print those out and work along with us. So moving on, here we go. So we're talking about mean, median, mode, and one that was not mentioned on the video was the range. Okay, so we'd like to define and give an example of each of these. So the mean, as I said, that's like your average Joe. So what you're going to do is you're going to divide. So I want to come over here. If you're following along in class, I want you to go ahead and highlight or underline the word add, and then highlight or underline the word divide. These are some key features here when we are finding the mean. And so we want to add all the numbers that are in the data set. That's the first step. And then the second step is to divide by the amount of numbers that are in the set. So for an example, let's say I had a data set of 6 plus 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4. You would want to add up each of these numbers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So I'm going to divide them by 5. So what we would do is we would say here, we got 6 plus, let's do 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 6 is 16, plus 4 is 20, plus 5 is 25. That's my top number here in this, let's call it numerator. And then divided by 5, my denominator, because there are 5 numbers again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the data set that I gave you an example for. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. So actually the median or average number in this data set is the number 5. So moving on to the median, let's take a look at what the median was. And remember from the video, the median was the bachelor who was just in the middle, just directly in the middle. And so you want to highlight or underline where it says here the middle. Okay, now in order to do that, you have to order them from least to greatest. So that's the case where you do have to take a look and change the data set if it's not in least to greatest form to least to greatest form. So let's see what that looks like here. So I'm going to say if I had the data set 80, 85, I'm going to go straight across this line. I'm kind of doing the example on how to solve in one. So 80, 85, 87, we got a 90, oh my gosh, a 90, and a 100. So I will be right back. Okay, so where we left off is that we're going to take the numbers that we have here in our median data. We ordered them from least to greatest. They were already in that order. And we have to find the middle number. So here is how we find the middle number. How many numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So actually, after the third number, this is my center or my middle. Problem, because I have an even amount of data or an even amount of numbers, actually I have two middle numbers, 87 and 90. So I'm going to add these or find the mean or average of these. So I have 87 plus 90. So we've got there.
What'd you say?
Shoot, record a video.
It's your login for the computer.
It ain't working.
Try again. You got in the computer, you should log it in. Sorry about that. So let's add these two. We have 87 and 90, so that's 7 and 0 is 7, 9 and 8 is 17. So it's 177 divided by 2. You can go ahead and put that in a calculator. I'll just use my phone here, giving you a moment to get that done. So when I take that information, let's say 87 plus 90 divided by 2 gives me 88.5. Okay, 88.5. Does that make sense that 88.5 would be the center of this? So it is 1.5 away from 87 and 1.5 away from 90. So yeah, 88.5 is my middle number. Again, the middle number was not on the list because there was no middle number on the list. I had to divide the two middles, add the two middle numbers, divide by 2, find the mean of it. That found the exact middle. All right, so hopefully that was okay for you. Let me clear this screen and scroll down so we can complete the rest of this page. A lot of this information you should have seen before. I'm sure you have, but it's good to have a reminder and also new information. So let's see now what we're looking at for the mode. So on the mode, we have find the number that repeats itself the most. So that actually is the easiest one to find. So here's my example. If I give you a data set and write this down here, so again, I'm going to work straight across. I have a 7, a 10, a 9, a 15, a 9, a 16, and a 9 again. So out of this data set, well, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. I could order them from least to greatest and find the middle because there'll be one exact number in the middle. But I'm not looking for a median. I'm looking for the mode, the one that happens the most. So is there a number that occurs the most amount of times on the list? And yes, that number is the number 9 because it shows up 3 different times. So simply because it shows up 3 times, that means that 9 is my mode. That is a really bad pen. Now the range. So when you're looking for range, you're looking for the difference between the highest number and the lowest number. So you want to highlight difference, highest, and lowest. So let's do an example of this one. I'm going to change over to my blue pen. So let me give you a few numbers. So I'm going to give you, it did not change to blue. 13, 16, 10, 14, and 21. So in this data set, I want to find the range. Well, the difference means to subtract, okay? The highest and the lowest. So the highest number on the list is 21. And then I'm going to subtract the lowest number on the list, which is 10. And I would say 21 minus 10 is the number 11. So when you say that the range is 11, it means there's 11 points basically between the highest and the lowest numbers. Okay? So that completes that video. There's some practice sheets that go along with that. Please feel free to work on those practice sheets. They are all due this week. All right, good luck.